Hey y'all, this is Philip the Learn to Grow guy. Today I'm gonna do like Droopy and be excited. I'm very excited. I'm very happy. Okay, that's not Droopy. But anyway, um, and for those of you who don't know about Droopy, look him up. Okay, Droopy is a cartoon character from back in the days when I was younger. Today we're gonna talk about my favorite berry. Okay, the berry that I've been dreaming for a very long time. Yep, I loved Hascaps, and Hascaps has been one of those berries that I've always wanted to have, and I do have some Hascaps at this time growing in the. If you look at my previous video, you would see the Hascaps that I'm growing in my other berry garden. Not this one over here behind me, not that one, okay, but in the one by the brown cabin. Um, I'm really happy, y'all. I'm really happy. Okay, so anyway, why is it that sea buckthorn is my favorite berry? The berry. Why is it that it's my dream berry? The berry that I've always wanted to have. Well, it's very simple. Um, Sea buckthorn is a berry plant that actually goes back to uses by folks in China, folks in Russia. Get off me, bug. Folks in China, folks in Russia, and folks in Tibet. Okay, they've used it for medicinal value, and of course, for its since it's medicinal, that means that it has nutritional value as well. Now, that's its history. Okay, in today's modern times, it grows right here in the U.S. Okay, I believe it can grow as far north as Canada. I'm not sure how far south it grows, but I believe that it can also go all the way down to Florida. So this particular berry is one of the few berries, or one of the few plants in all of, I guess, man history here. I don't know. But nonetheless, it is one of the few plants that we have in today's day and time that actually has all four of the omega fats. Okay, it's one of the few plants. Now, this plant, I'm going to run down a list of stuff that people actually use this plant for. It can be used, and this is not in an exhaustive list. The list continues on. Some people use it to help treat stomach ulcers. Okay, some people use it for it's an antioxidant. Some people use it for menopause relief. Okay, some people use it as an anti-inflammatory. Some people use it for cardio health. And I mean, and I'm saying cardio health, and I know for me, if it enhances heart function, if it helps with heart function, for me that's something that I need. Some of you may know I actually had heart surgery last year. It was an ablation, but nonetheless, it's heart surgery nonetheless. It can also be used to treat various skin issues such as burns, acne, eczema. It's also used to support cholesterol. It's also can be used to lower cholesterol. Now, I'm not a doctor, okay? I don't claim to be one, even when I play one on TV. Okay, so with that said, I'm not a doctor. My recommendation to you is that if you're looking at using it for medicinal purposes as well, besides the fact that there's some very sweet varieties out there, there's a whole lot of varieties of this stuff, okay? If you're going to use it for medicinal value, for medicinal purposes, if you're going to just, or if you're just going to use it for nutritional value, like you would with any food, well, almost any food, not the processed stuff and all that other nonsense. If you're going to use it for medicinal values, my recommendation is to research the stuff yourself, and I say even talk with your doctor about it. Okay, again, I'm not a doctor, even though I may play one on TV. Okay, so anyway, um, based on the stuff that I've looked up and found on pertaining to these berries, is that it has more than 200 nutrients in it. Okay, more than 200 nutrients, and this particular berry has vitamin A. It has vitamin E. It's also rich in vitamin C. And when I say rich in vitamin C, it has up to between 10 and 15 times the amount of vitamin C that you can get out of oranges with just one handful of those berries. It has what's that? Amino acids. It is again. I already mentioned the omega four um, the omega oils or omega fats. Okay, you can use the leaves, the flowers, and the seeds is where you're going to get a lot of the oils from. The fruit, you can eat the fruit. As I started to mention before, there's many varieties of it, and the reason, I mean, there's so many different varieties of the sea buckthorn. Okay, and some of them are sweeter than others. Some of them are more sour or whatever. I haven't tasted them yet, but I'm looking forward to tasting it. Okay, if you go online, they sell stuff that's made with sea buckthorn for skin health. They sell the dried fruit. They sell the I think you can also get it in powder so you can put it in your smoothies, etc. But me, I'm looking forward to eating the stuff fresh. Yeah. Yes, sir. Anyway, okay. So, like I said, this history goes quite a bit of ways back. But I'm looking at trying to grow the stuff myself. Now, with this being the berry bush of my dreams, I didn't want to spend a lot of money on it either. Okay, I did want to start from seed, but I know that I did not want to spend the crazy amounts of money that people are trying to charge for the berries online. All right. It's pretty much the other. Actually, for me, there's another tree that I want to on a little side note here. Another tree that I actually want is actually some jujubes. Okay, I want some jujubes. But if you look online, they're selling like a little 1 to 2 foot tree for like between 50 and 100 and some odd dollars, depending on where you're looking at. And again, I'm not going to pay a lot for this muffler. Okay, that's for those of you who go back to the 70s. Anyway, I don't want to spend a lot of money on the jujubes, so therefore I don't have them as of yet. And the same thing with the sea buckthorns. I don't want to spend all the money that people are trying to charge. So what I did find, okay, and you can find the seeds relatively inexpensive. I think for a small bag of seeds, you can probably spend $15-20 or so on the seeds. You can probably find them cheaper depending on where you go and such. But what I did do, let me show you. Come with me. Follow me. These are acorns I gathered from Texas. I've been planting some around on the property out here. This is what I've got. I've got some cuttings. I've got cuttings of... Here we go. I've got cuttings of the Corolla. Okay. Corolla. I've got cuttings of the Golden. Okay. The Golden Sweet. And this one, I've got a cutting of a male. Now with these, what you're going to have a need for, you're going to need at least one male for every roughly 6 to 8 female plants. Okay. That's what you're going to have a need for. Okay. So I've got 2 cuttings of the Golden Sweet. I've got 2 cuttings of the Corolla. Okay, these are the females, and this is the male. I guess a question that I have had is, how do you identify the males from the females? And it comes down to the buds, okay? It comes down to the buds. Well, I haven't opened these yet, but it comes down to the buds. As you can see, this one seems to have, well... Yeah, well, I'm not an expert at that portion yet. Right now, I'm taking these people's words for it. I'm hoping that they're honest. And I'll tell you what, if these take off like I'm hoping, I will share the name of the people that I got it from. Okay? Now, here's what I'm going to do with these. Well, I'm picking them up. I'm carrying them out to my greenhouse area. Yep. Ooh, look, guess what, y'all? This is sugarcane. When I was up in Chicago, my cousin gave me some sugarcane seeds, and that's what these babies are. I'm hoping that they do quite well. I've got 6 times 6, so that's 36 minus 1, 2, 3. 36 minus 3, that leaves me with 33 sugarcane plants that I've got here. Okay? These are some of the stuff I'm planning on growing. But anyway, back to the greenhouse. Okay, here's what I've done. I've prepared these here, okay? I've got these, Golden Sweet. And this is the temperature of my greenhouse. It's cooler outside, but we had a little bit of sun. Actually, the temperature had gotten almost to 100 degrees in here, okay? And this is the Corolla. I've got those 2 back there. And the one that's missing, the pot that's missing, I didn't bring this one in. I need to bring this one in now. Okay, I gotta close this door, otherwise the winds will pick up. Okay, here's what I've got. I bought 2 of these many years ago, many moons ago. Okay, and here's what this is. It's a growth medium. Okay, something that you just break it up. Okay, mix it in with some water. And with this one here, I actually use too much water. That's why you see it sitting like this here. You can see water coming out like that. But nonetheless, you mix it up. What I did was that I spread everything out over, into this container first. And then I pour the water. And the water I use is actually rainwater, okay? What I've got is a pool. It's a kiddie pool. Let me show you. Well, let's take a walk. Is that blue little kiddie pool I have over there. This little kiddie pool has rainwater. Whenever it rains, guess what? It catches the water. Okay, and leaves fell into it, so it's like pond water. Okay, the only additive this thing has is one of these here. This thing supposed to kill mosquito larvae, and if you look in here somewhere, I've got a piece of copper coil. Yeah, it's right there. I don't know if you can see it or not, but you see it right there, coiled copper. They say that if you put copper in water, it'll kill mosquitoes and stuff like that. So I don't know. So I got that in there, and I got the little thing there. The way this thing works, it's actually bacteria that actually kills. It does whatever to the mosquito larva. Anyway, this is where I got my water from. So that's the only additive I've got in here. Okay. So I've got, and by the way, that is, how you say, it's organic. It doesn't harm anything. It doesn't harm fish or anything like that either. Okay. It just goes after, the bacteria only goes after mosquitoes. Okay. So anyway, I've got some of this water. That's actually what I used. Okay. Since I'm not editing this, I'm not sure if I had recorded this or not, but here we go. If I did the water, sorry for repeating it. Inside of this, I have two things in here that's killing mosquitoes, and that's this organic thing that releases bacteria into the water, and I also have a piece of copper wire that's in there. It's a copper coil. I'm not sure if you can see it, but they say that copper in water will actually kill mosquitoes, so that's what I got in here. This is the water that I use. It's rainwater. It catches rainwater. When it rains, it collects it, okay? So that's what I used. So to continue on, a friend of mine, one of my neighbors, he has, he has weeping willow growing on his property. And I asked him if I can have a few branches, and he said yes. Now here's what you can do with the willow, okay? You can take the branches, you can smash the branches, let them soak in some water, and basically it's going to produce rooting hormone. Okay, so if you have willow on your property, if you know anybody with some willow, you can ask them for some, and you can produce your own rooting hormones simply by crushing them and let them soak in some water. Now, this is what I've got. This is the second bucket I've got. They may look a little stressed, and the reason for that is that the original bucket I had, it was leaking water. It leaked the water out. I didn't notice that until 2 days later, which is today. And so I put some fresh water in there. I'm hoping that it bounces back. Looks like some of it is bouncing back. So what are these? What am I going to do with these? You can actually take these, put them in some dirt, let them root out a little bit. You can stick them in some dirt, and they will produce new trees. Every last one of these is potentially able to produce new trees. Okay, so that's the secret about willow. And there are many plants that are actually like that. Okay, pretty much some of the stuff I spoke about in the other video, such as autumn olive, elderberry, and various other plants out there. You can do pretty much the same thing with them. Okay, so what am I going to do now? The mission is simple. I'm going to take these here, and I'm going to stick them in the pots. And the goal is to keep them in a nice warm place. Okay. Ideally, you want to put a bag over these if I don't have any transparent bags. But at the same time, I don't want to leave those just sitting in there either. So I'm going to put them in here. I've got a cold spell coming, so I'm going to be keeping these in the watershed where it's warmer, or I may bring them inside. I don't know what I'm going to do as of yet, but I need to make up my mind fairly quickly because it's going to get cold tonight. Okay, even though that's the temperature in here, the temperature is dropping, but nonetheless, that's what we've got. Okay, so here we go. Okay, I'm not going to do the gentleman thing and says ladies first. The first one I'm picking out is the one that is a male. Okay, I'm taking the male cutting out first, and that's what I'm going to put into the thingamajigger, into the pot. Okay, as you can see, this is the male. It has, I don't know if you can see it or not. Okay, looks like this has buds sticking out. It's got like 3 buds in one. Okay, so and since this one is just specified as male, so I'm gonna name it Boy. I'm sticking it into the pot. I'm trying to get a few of the nodes in. Okay, and I'm giving a little smush. All right, and now I'm gonna do the golden. Okay. Well, you know what? I think I'm gonna save the golden for last because it's got some stuff on it. I'm not sure if there's seeds or not. If it is seeds, we'll see. I'm gonna see if I can plant those somewhat on the separate side. Okay, so now we're gonna go do the Corolla. Is that right? It's a C-roller. C-roller. Okay, with this one, I had to, with the C-roller, Corolla, I had to tear the bag open because, as you can see, like I mentioned before, sea buckthorns, they have thorns on them, okay? And they don't play, all right? That's the wind outside, okay? She didn't want to come out, so I had to, that's what I had to do, okay? So let's take a look, see. I know I'm manhandling them. I'm a roughneck. Okay. Female. Guys, I'm not 100% sure of what's what, but that's what I've got. I hope they're all not males. I hope they're all not females. Like I said, if I'm pushing them down far enough so that enough of the buds are underground. Hold on, I think I'm going to clip this off. Okay, guys, there was something major I forgot. I pulled that one out. I'm going to pull the male one out too. This is what I was telling you pertaining to the elixir. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this around in there a little bit, and then I'm going to stick it back into the soil. Okay, this is the stuff I made with the what's that thing? With the weeping willow. Okay, I had to clip a little bit off from the bottom because it looked moldy. Okay, and that's the other Corolla. Sticking that off to the side. Okay, and I'm pulling Boy out because I didn't do the same thing with Boy either. I probably should let it sit in here for a few minutes. I guess I'm more accustomed to the powder. I probably will pour some of the water down the in the pot also. All right, let's take a look at this one now. Okay, I've got the golden sweet out. I clipped the bottoms because they seem to be a little moldy like and stuff like that, so I clipped the bottoms, and I'm going to swirl it around in here. Okay, like I said, probably should sit in there a little bit longer, but just trying to get everything done. Okay. Okay, and since I didn't let them sit in there too long, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour a little bit of this here in there to sort of compensate for my rushing, even though I'm not rushing. Okay, and this is Boy. Okay, so that's what I've done, and the key thing now is to keep these warm and keep them moist. So I just gotta make sure I keep. I just gotta make sure I keep this these pots nice and warm and moist, and give it a few more days so that I was gonna say, man, it grew already, man. Yeah, I'll give it a few days. I'll give it some time. I don't know how long it's supposed to take for it to root out, but I'm looking forward to seeing the growth that these produce, and I'm looking forward to having them. If everything goes right, my goal is to actually, um, how you say, graft some of the male into the females. Okay, I'm looking at trying to take a little bit here, a little bit, put it here, there, and there. The reason is that since the plant requires both male and female, my view is that why not put them all together and let them do what they need to do. And well, I won't even put a female on this one, okay? I don't want the girls getting all up into his head. Ha 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 ha. Ha. Okay. So anyway, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. And that way, each of the plant can be self-containing as long as, again, the male graft actually takes onto the female. But again, that's down the line. We shall see what happens. Okay. So in the meantime, be sure to. In the meantime, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. This is not my deal with the camera today, okay? So anyway, that's where we're at. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Again, y'all, be sure to look into sea buckthorn, okay? Look into sea buckthorn. Look into it for its medicinal use, as well as its nutritional values, okay? Check it out and put your comments. If you find stuff that you like about this particular berry, if you find stuff you like, put in the comments, okay? All right, y'all take care.